Hello, welcome to my channel, The Ascension Guide. I'm your guide, Joe Martin. Um, for this video segment or playlist, whatever you want to call it, Archangel Ariah wanted me to do just kind of my own thoughts of the day. Things that may be helpful or relatable to other people, but aren't necessarily, messages that I receive from them. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit about addiction. I know just about everybody's dealt with it in some form or another, whether it be some kind of food or drugs or tobacco, alcohol, what have you. Everybody's kind of gone through it to their own degree over the years. But a lot of people have a hard time overcoming these addictions. A lot of people make a lot of different excuses. If I had this, I could. If this person wasn't gone, I could do it. If I wasn't afraid to gain back the weight, I could do it. If I wasn't this, if I wasn't that, if only this, if only that. And I'm here to tell you, the only person that's ever gonna make you quit an addiction is yourself. And you have to want to do it. It's that simple. And I know it's not easy, as most things. Simple does not always equate to easy. But that's how simple it is. You stop doing it. And listen, I know how hard it can be. When I was in the Army, I hurt my back, and they were giving me, first it started off with like Percocet, Vicodin, stuff like that. And then by the end of it, I'm on scripts of 60 Oxycontin, a month, and once you're at that point, you're sucked into the game. They got you, and it's really hard to fight your way out of it. And really, I think that a lot of times when people get stuck in addictions, it's not so much the substance, it's they're trying to escape from reality, which that was 100% me. I hated being in the military. I loved the lessons that I learned from it, and I would, do it all over again in a heartbeat, but I don't like being told what to do, which, as you can imagine, the military is about the wrong place on earth if you want to not be told what to do and have any sort of freedom. So those two things really didn't mesh well in my life. So yeah, along with the pain that was caused by the injury, there was the pain that was internal also, just by me hating my reality and wanting to escape that as often as possible. So when I wasn't taking pills, or when my prescription was out, or I couldn't find anything on the street, or whatever it was at that point, it was drinking. And it's the same thing, you're masking, you're hiding that reality that you're running from effectively. So once you kind of understand that, and then it's like, okay, well, for me, when I was in the Army, I really didn't have a whole lot of choice. You're government property for X amount of years, and there's no just like, hey, I'm ready to change my reality now, I'm gonna go do this. Like, it doesn't work that way. So I was kind of stuck for a few years, and I had a good friend at the time. He was in the same boat as me. He was getting the prescriptions, but he I think they kind of figured out that he didn't have any kind of injury. He was just trying to get the prescriptions. And anyway, it progressed to him to, eventually doing heroin. And, him and I were both in the same room, and man, I don't know what would have happened, but he ended up overdosing right in front of me and turned blue, the whole thing, like he was gone. And paramedics came, revived him. And I can't say what would have happened if I wouldn't have seen him do that. If he wouldn't have like turned blue in front of me and basically died, I don't know. maybe I would have been next. I don't know. And then who knows where life takes you after you do that stuff. But, you know, it was to that point, it was getting pretty serious. But that was kind of my eye-opening moment, if you will. And the worst part was, you know, I don't want to give away too much of this guy's story, but he went to the hospital, obviously, after they, you know, resuscitated him and took him there. And then he stayed there for a few hours. I had to come pick him up and bring him back. And as soon as he got back, went and shot up again and said, you know, I just did too much last time. And it's like, man, you literally were dead if I wasn't here. Like, you're gone. And you're right back to it. And it was just like, man, this is such a powerful controller. And, you know, for those people who, you know, are like star seeds, or, you know, in this situation like we're going through, many of these people are looking for freedom. And if you're on drugs that control you, and you don't have freedom, you know, so maybe that's your why to quit, is that you don't have the freedom that you wish you had. And it's because of that. It controls you. I believe me, I know. It controls your bank account. It controls your everything. It controls your mind, your attitude, your, you know, will to do things, your want to do things, and your social life. It really, you know, pares down your friends, because people don't want to be around you know, somebody who's nodding off all the time or whatever. So, you know, but if you're one of the people that's listening to this, that's either gone through that or is going through that, you know, it's on you. There's nobody out there that's going to come save you. There's nobody out there that's going to, you know, there's people that are out there that can help change your mind about things, but ultimately it's you who saves you. It's you who wakes up and says, I'm done. I don't want to live this life anymore. And I, you know, I've overcome a few addictions. I used to chew tobacco. I used to smoke. I used to obviously do the pills stuff. So, but each time it was just a matter of saying, I don't want to do this anymore. And, you know, if you got to play mental games and say, I don't like this, and it, you know, make it so that it disgusts you, if that helps. You know, every time you see a cigarette, or every time that food that you don't want to eat anymore, or whatever, just make it so that it disgusts you. Make it so it disgusts you because of the outcome that happens when you ingest that. Make it so it disgusts you, you know, the flavor, the taste, or the smell, or something, and trick yourself so that you don't want it anymore. And that makes it a little easier to process and to, you know, get rid of. And by all means, there are certain things that you should not just quit cold turkey. You know, your body will literally go into shock, and you know, you can die. So be careful, and, you know, seek help if you need it. But, you know, understand that it's all going to come down to your choice. Nobody's going to make you do it, and then you're all of a sudden going to be okay with that decision. As we just talked about, most of us are looking for freedom. You know, we're looking for that escape. So if you're being controlled by something, or if somebody else is telling you to do it, then that's not you making that decision. That's not you being free. That's you doing it for somebody else conditionally. It needs to be you doing it for you. Or if you doing it for you is because your kids or your family or whatever, that's, you know, that's fine too. But your will has to come from within, not from outside. And I think that you know, when people grasp that and start to understand that, hey, it's me who has to change, then that's when you reframe everything, and that's when you can really, you know, decide to be different. And, you know, like I said, there's all different addictions. There's sugar, there's, you know, cigarettes, you know, alcohol, anything. So whatever it is that you don't want to do anymore, that you have an addiction that's controlling you. And now this is, you know, obviously addiction's different than having the occasional drink or what have you. But, you know, there really isn't an occasional cigarette usually. That's one of those things that kind of you do or you don't. But, you know, if you do, and maybe some people just smoke when they drink, I know that. So it's, you know, whatever it is. But if you feel like it's controlling you, or you don't want to do it anymore, then it's time to make a conscious decision and stop doing that. And like I said, it's simple, but it's not easy. For me, I was watching some movie when I was smoking, and you heard all your life that smoking causes lung cancer, heart disease, all these different things, and just this one movie, I can't even remember what it was. It was so many years ago, but the one guy ended up getting lung cancer or heart disease, something like that, from smoking in the movie, and it was just, I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, what do I get out of this? I'm spending $10 a day to write myself a fast pass to cancer? Like, what? I mean, I get that it calms your nerves, and there's that like kind of mini escape, I guess. But learn breathing techniques, and you get that same escape. You know, take 12 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, exhaling completely all of your air out of your lungs, and inhaling the full entire depth of your lungs. And on the 13th one, hold it as long as you can. You'll get that same rush, trust me. It'll change your body, you'll get that feeling, you'll change your reality, if you will. So, try that. Try, having some moments of gratitude where you sit there and, be thankful for the things that you do have, even if it's not much. A lot of people get caught up in, well, I don't have a big house, or I don't have a car. Like, do you have running water? Do you have indoor plumbing? Do you have fresh air? I mean, right there, you're doing a lot better than a lot of people. So put things in perspective. That's one thing that I think, especially here in America, people get caught up in what they don't have when they don't realize that they have a lot more than a lot of places. And maybe same wherever you live too, but I can only speak for the United States, and I've done some travel outside of the United States, and I've seen other places, and I know how good we have it here, and I know that way too many people take it for granted. And that is not to say we are perfect by any means either. We are very far strayed from our founding principles, but I'm not going to venture off into that episode. But anyways, this all comes down to your mindset, though. Where do you want to be in life? Do you want to be controlled by a substance, or do you want to be in control of what you do? And I've said it plenty of times this episode, it's simple, not easy. So good luck to everybody. If you need help with anything, or you have any questions about what I went through, or any tips or anything that I can give you further, I would be glad to help. I know addiction's kind of a scary thing for a lot of different people, and fortunately I was able to get out of those things, and no issues looking back. So you can email me at the email address below, or you can leave a comment, and if this helped you, please like and share, as it helps hopefully somebody else too. And if you're not already a subscriber, I would definitely appreciate you doing that, as it lets me know that you resonate with the videos. So thanks everybody, and until the next message, love and light.